Hello, everybody. We're going to have a talk this morning here. I know it's a little bit earlier out west, but I got hit with this crossroads, and often it's funny. You can have an open book for a couple days, and then a day comes where everything piles up, and it's worse when it's critical stuff piles up, and it's all in one day. So Wednesday, I got in with the Russian summit. I get to go and participate in the Russian summit on environmental issues and their climate projections that they're going to do and what Russia's going to do in the world. They're one of 5 powers, so when a UNSC P5 member hosts an event like that, well, the world always pays attention. And it's critical for Canada, absolutely, as we watch now both Liberals and Conservatives roll out carbon tax. Absolutely. They roll out both, a lot more than that, but apparently Conservatives aren't ready to read the major document that's 327 pages, or 355 pages, 427 pages with all links and reports attached that you can download to attach to that document. It's actually 427 pages. I went through all of it. It was released February 21st, 2021 here. It's been out for months. Many Canadians just love Pierre Paul Rivera. They don't care that he's a lifetime sworn Privy Council. Canadians have no idea what that means. They don't know what that means for every party who has lifetime sworn Privy Councils. They don't even know what that means for the anti-democrat fashion that it produces in absolute autocracy. Apparently that's okay in Canada. I don't want to get into too much of that, except for the fact that Jason Kenney, who is a sworn lifetime Privy Council member and a premier of the province of Alberta, doesn't want to go against Aaron O'Toole and his carbon tax rollout that's going to damage especially Alberta, but much of the western provinces in oil and gas and coal, of course. They don't have a real plan forward except for charge all of you, Canadian citizens, both Liberals and Conservatives, charge all of you a whole bunch of money that may or may not lead to economic benefit. And clearly, the more we go into the Green New Deal, there is no economic benefit. But here's the big problem on the international stage. So all these nations in the world, and I know who leads the charge on this, they all say that what's a good idea is to charge everybody a carbon tax so that we can produce a green new world. A green new world of resources that will limit carbon production. So that's all great, but why would a country like Canada and Russia, with a massive natural biodiversity that clearly absorbs not only these nations' carbon footprints, but much of the rest of the world's carbon footprints? In fact, we have more trees than anywhere else in the world that absolutely absorbs carbon. And Russia has taken it upon themselves to set up and document that carbon capture in tremendous technology. They have tremendous satellite space technology out there. They lead in world space still to this day, regardless of what people may tell you. Russia is right there with the USA, leads in a lot of areas of space and technology, especially satellite imaging, and works universally around the world. They're still in the top 3. And in some fashion, they're top 1 in critical areas. With that technology, Russia has been and is studying boreal forest carbon capture as it is natural on this earth, and they have a whole new rollout to the world on climate action, going, wait a minute, before you pass the buck, pass the bill, let's look at total global carbon production against total global natural forest consumption of that carbon. And now let's rate that in real science. Real science. Now, Canada is a mirror image of Russia. A mirror image. In fact, because of our crown system of land here, we actually have a lot more forest. It's just the management system of that forest to keep it healthy is not in place. Now, Russia proposes that we not only measure that, but we roll out what forest management and that measured capture in real science, what does that equal for companies? What does that equal for the people of those countries? At least for Russia, absolutely Western Canada should be pursuing this. It's not fair. All Canadians, regardless, you actually absorb not only all of your own carbon, you absorb a lot of the carbon that's produced in this world today. Should we not be paid for that? Should we not be compensated? Should the world, when talking about climate action and carbon tax and transferring wealth out to all these countries, should there be a bill for those who can't naturally absorb their carbon and are not absorbing any of the carbon output nearly to the capacity that countries like Russia and Canada are? Shouldn't they be billed for that? Shouldn't this be a two-way street? Shouldn't we have a conversation about this? I'm not here to slam the USA. I'm not here to slam the UK or other allies or even not allies traditionally of our group of countries. Shouldn't we not really look at this as it is and not how it's being dictated? Shouldn't we look at the absolute science? That's what I'm doing Wednesday. I'm doing it for, yes, mostly Western Canada, of course. Yes, I'm going because somebody has to go for Alberta. I've been invited. I can't turn away from it. I gotta go. I have that invite. I'm gonna go. Upon the same day, in another massive important scale, is International Criminal Court, the only court in this world that can absolutely bind your nation, your nation's politicians to its ruling and absolutely enforce it. At least for UN states that are not P5 members, okay? So only 5 countries are immune to that. And of course, those 5 countries are the judge, jury, and executioners of a decision made by that court. And why this is important, because the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, John Carpe, is fighting for religion right now. You can look at the province of Alberta, specifically one church, Grace Life Church, being locked away. Those people are not allowed to practice their religion or their Charter of Right and Freedom, which is religion, a federal right enshrined in Canada and absolutely enshrined in international law. So John Carpe is not able to get Canada to look at scientific evidence to back up their claims why Grace Life should be shut down and other charter rights and freedoms should be exploited, because the government says they should be, and others should be crushed and crunched with zero scientific data. And apparently the courts are saying, don't worry, government, you don't have to show that data because of our king court system, as per definition. And our Governor General Wagner, Justice Wagner, who is currently the Governor General, who is in charge of all lieutenant governors of every province, absolutely has override on all of them, is not doing anything with it. Nobody seems to be able to talk to him. I'm not allowed to talk to Justice Wagner. I certainly did reach out. He's doing a lot of work that visually I can see with Governor General in that office. That's being restreamed. He's changing a lot of government narratives from the federal government. People are up in arms about the charter being removed from one of the government websites, not the Justice Lewis and Hole site, which is Government of Canada, but Government of Canada's website. And I believe he did that because the way they've described the charter is inappropriate. It's probably wrong, and it leads Canadians to come up with their own legal terms that are not definitive. Now, Justice Wagner is a smart man. He's up for this challenge. So far, I like the work he's doing. But now going back to why I'm talking about this event on Wednesday with the European Union Commission is those justices, those Supreme Justices, 27 country member states. Yes, UK's involvement with the EU was strong. A lot of their law, Roman statutes, all come from United Kingdom, if not Italy. It's enshrined in there. A lot of our laws for Canada absolutely overlap and come from there. What is interesting, and even a guy like me has met those individuals, been able to talk with those individuals on live forum, and even sit down on Zoom and talk to these justices who absolutely talk to our Governor General, Justice Wagner, who absolutely engage with him all the time. So it's interesting. I would certainly love to go to that presentation, but there's two events going on, one of which I absolutely can't miss. It's Russia, a UNSC P5 member, and I get to, for once, speak on behalf of Western Canada. Regardless of the premiers and what they say or what they're doing, I'm going to get to talk on that stage, at least present something out for the entire world to see and look at. And yes, I'm going to support Russia's position because it is absolutely the people of Canada's position, physically, geographically, the same as Russia, and it has a large merit. Whether USA, UK, France, China want to look at that, I'm going to go forward with that because I believe that to be true, and I think Canadians should have that voice, should have that recognition, even if our regions are not represented, even if our UN state is represented by OSCE, which I got that video from Russia. I missed it last night. They went through that, what they back up and what they miss, and what I talked about this morning in a post, what I wrote up for all of you, whether people are going to understand that or whether people are going to interpret that properly or even going to like it. This is the best I can do for Canadians, as much as I can do as a citizen, a UN citizen, a dues-paying member like all of you. Whether you realize you have that power, that voice, and you can use it. I'm using it the best I can, when I can. When incredible opportunities come forward like this, I go. So in conclusion, with ICC, I do have a contact in the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms. John Carpe is extremely important. If John gets a chance to look at this before Wednesday, I'm going to email that assistant you provided me. I'm going to email him the invite. I hope he takes it, because the Justice Center has this opportunity to speak to this commission of supreme justices of the EU that will be able to talk to Justice Wagner if none of you can. And if ever you wanted an opportunity, John, you wanted an opportunity for the Justice Center to at least talk about this, talk about Grace Life Church, the enshrined right of the Charter, and what's happening right here in Canada with lieutenant governors overstepping the justice system, this is your chance. Maybe it will not lead to anything. Maybe it will. I know you guys are incredibly busy. I just know that you will have an opportunity to talk, chat, or communicate with supreme justices of the EU that absolutely talk and work with Justice Wagner, our current Governor General of Canada. If we can't talk to him, we can at least talk to those who will talk to him. That's the opportunity here. I would love more than anything to go to this, but I cannot be in two places at once. We need somebody of legal stature that can go talk to them about this, at least in your reality of law, that I'm not bound to necessarily. I'm not a lawyer. But that's the video presentation today, everybody. Share, share, share. Send it out there and post this video. I'm going to email the Justice Center and my contact from John Carpe, and I hope at least one of them can attend. I don't expect that John will be able to attend. He's tremendously busy here in Canada these days, but this is a golden opportunity, possibly for that assistant he afforded me. Maybe this is that chance that that assistant could go there and at least get the message out that the Justice Center would like to get out. And it will get back to Chief Justice Wagner, our current Governor General. Thanks, everybody. Share, share, share. Get it out there. It's huge. Bye now.